Sultan Light Catholic Radio, FM 102.3 and AM 1140 KGEM Boise, FM 101.7 and AM 1270 KTFI Twin Falls, and 89.5 FM KGVI Grangeville.
It's an exciting morning show on Salt and Light Radio. It's time to start your day the Catholic way. Morning Light is 1 hour of live local information and interviews, along with news, traffic, weather, and sports from the Treasure and Magic Valleys. The Salt and Light Catholic Radio Network now presents Morning Light with your hosts Brian Howell and Hope Ryan.
Good morning, broadcasting live from the St. Gabriel studio in beautiful Boise, Idaho. Welcome to a wonderful Wednesday edition of Morning Light.
Mediocre, at least. I forgot my little plug again.
A mediocre Wednesday edition of Morning Light.
Right. Wishy-washy Wednesday. No, I forgot my little computer thing piece again because my beloved children had the week off. And so they have friends over and they watched a movie and, we used everything for everything. Anyway, that's my excuse today.
And we're sticking to it. Who's coming up today?
Well, we will still have an amazing show. Little itty-bitty computer part or not. Teresa Zepeda will bring you faith and feasts. Man Cave, Pat and Eddie are out solving all the world's problems in the Blue Room. And we'll wrap up the show with Carl Corbin from Knights of Columbus Twin Falls Council talking about coats for kids.
Please pray for our priest, specifically today for Father Everest Shio.
Shio, yeah.
And pray for vocations as well. This week we're praying for Connor Brown, who will be is at St. Paul's Seminary. We will not be here tomorrow and Friday, so we would just ask you to please continue praying for Connor the rest of the week.
So he gets 5 whole days.
Yes, like all the other seminarians.
For sure.
Today we recognized Blessed Miguel Pro, one of the martyrs from Mexico. We'll learn all about his incredible story later on, but right now, let's pray.
In the name of the Father and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I believe, O Lord, but strengthen my faith. Heart of Jesus, I love thee, but increase my love. Heart of Jesus, I trust in thee, but give greater vigor to my confidence. Heart of Jesus, I give my heart to thee, but so enclose it in thee that it may never be separated from thee. Heart of Jesus, I am all thine, but take care of my promise so that I may be able to put it in practice, even unto the complete sacrifice of my life. Amen.
Amen.
In the name of the Father
and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, blessed.
Sorry, we're laughing because.
Yeah, Father Miguel was all about disguises, and Hope's got her headphones on as such that you can't really tell who she is. She looks like a robot now, and
I'm in disguise.
in disguise,
like Blessed Miguel Pro. One of my sons dressed up as Blessed Miguel for
Halloween.
All Saints Day.
All Saints Day, that's right.
Which is an easy thing to do. You put your hat on backwards, you put on a pair of sunglasses. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Blessed Miguel Pro.
There you go.
But such a powerful martyr. If you don't know his story, definitely pursue that today.
And the movie No Greater Glory, I believe, that was made about him, and that's a good movie, all-star cast. So I think we own that. I'll have to try to dig that out.
I know I do. I just realized that when we received it, actually from the Knights of Columbus, they said it isn't necessarily friendly for kids. So I haven't had the opportunity to watch that. So if you know if it is or is not, I'd love it if you let me know.
3 minutes after the hour, it's time for Morning Light News. 29 degrees in Boise, 31 in Twin Falls, 33 degrees in Grangeville. The Boise Police Department took several steps years ago to improve relationships with the LGBTQ community by creating a liaison officer. Boise Police first posted the position back in 2015, and that's when Corporal Dan Lister stepped up to do the job. Lister said he has worked with organizations and activists in that community for the past 7 years to try to create rapport.
Lobbyists for the Idaho legislature were fined for filing late reports. The Idaho Capital Sun was able to obtain public records regarding the fines. Registered lobbyists who participated in the one-day special session held September 1st still had to report activities for that day. Almost a quarter of the under 400 Idaho lobbyists were fined for absent reports. Even grown-ups have to turn in their paperwork on time. The reports were due October 15th, and the fine varied from $50 per day to a flat fee of $300.
After a couple of years of being either virtual or canceled altogether, the St. Alphonsus Festival of Trees and the Canyon County Festival of Trees are back to being in-person events. Both festivals this year will feature a variety of embellished trees, wreaths, and other decor, as well as entertainment and special events. It kicks off today at 10 a.m. at Boise Center on the Grove, and then on Friday at 12 noon at the Ford Idaho Center. Admission fees are being charged. Proceeds help to fund special projects and charities.
An air stagnation advisory continues to be in effect until at least Saturday morning. Stagnant air with little to no wind and an absence of vertical mixing means we'll be sitting in moderate air quality for the next few days. This is in effect for southwest and west central Idaho, as well as most of eastern Oregon. Surface level pollutants will increase over the next few days. In Idaho, visit deq.idaho.gov for updates. In Oregon, visit oregon.gov/DEQ. Traffic and weather are next.
Support for Salt and Light Radio comes from Beacon of Light member Treasure Valley's Home Team.
Have you been thinking about making your move to another home? If you also want to support those who don't have the basics of human needs in Cité Soleil, Haiti, then make your best move with your local team, Treasure Valley's Home Team, who has proudly founded the Kizito Family Haiti USA, and we are serving the poorest of the poor in Haiti.
Treasure Valley's Home Team is owned by Marie Fitzgerald, MBA, and licensed with Coldwell Banker.
Good morning, light traffic. Your freeway commute is lovely because I hope most of you are taking the day off or maybe just working from home. Either choice is a good one because those of us who have to drive to work can get there lickety-split. A lot of utility work just here and there all over the valley, so keep that in mind as you are making your way. And no school buses, though the school zones are still in effect. Yes, we can all groan together. That is your morning light traffic.
Mostly cloudy in the Treasure Valley through Sunday, highs lower 40s and overnight lows in the upper 20s. Magic Valley, you can expect mostly sunny skies through the holiday weekend with highs 40 to 45, lows 20 to 25 degrees. For the Camas Prairie, partly cloudy today and tomorrow, then scattered showers over the weekend, highs upper 30s, lows in the upper 20s. Right now, 28 in Meridian, it's 23 in Fruitland, and in Mountain Home, 29 degrees. We'll take a short break and be back with Faith and Feasts as Morning Light continues right after this.
Salt and Light Radio's pilgrimage to Our Lady of Guadalupe is happening February 15th to the 22nd, 2023.
Hello, this is Father Joseph Lustig, inviting you to join me on the Salt and Light Radio pilgrimage to Mexico City. Together we can leave behind the cold Idaho winter and immerse ourselves in this incredible opportunity of spiritual growth. I hope to see you.
To learn more, visit saltandlightradio.com or call 208-344-4774.
Our Lady of Guadalupe, pray for us.
Salt and Light Radio thanks Cloverdale Funeral Home for its financial support as a Beacon of Light member. For 3 generations, the Gibson family has a legacy of serving our Catholic community. The heritage of Gibson Funeral Homes is now part of Cloverdale Funeral Homes. When you want a personalized funeral experience to share the story of your loved one, they're located at 1200 North Cloverdale Road in Boise or online at cloverdalefuneralhome.com. Our family, serving your family.
St. Mark's annual school auction fundraiser themed Seize the Day is happening on February 11th, 2023 at the Boise Center. Ticket sales begin December 7th this year. This is a community-wide event and is open to anyone who would like to support the school. For more information, check out St. Mark's Auction Gala 2023 at Auction Frogs. That address, stmarksauction2023.afrogs.org. We hope to see you there.
I haven't even finished eating all my Halloween candy.
Sally, Thanksgiving is a very important holiday. Ours was the first country in the world to make a national holiday to give thanks.
Transform your life into a joyful celebration of our faith by observing the long list of feasts on the liturgical calendar. Morning Light brings you Faith and Feasts with Teresa Zapeta, providing you with ideas on how to turn ordinary activities into supernatural opportunities.
9 minutes after the hour, Morning Light continues on this wonderful Wednesday across the Salt and Light Catholic Radio Network. Teresa Zapeta joining us this morning to talk about the liturgical year. But before we get to that, we always like to take a look ahead the next 7 to 10 days about some special saints or feast days that we have to look forward to. Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning.
Morning. Yes, we have a full calendar for this coming week. Of course, we start today. It's the feast of St. Clement I. He was a pope. St. Columban, who was an abbot. And as you mentioned, Blessed Miguel Augustin Pro. Now, the movie For Greater Glory actually depicts Blessed Jose Luis Sanchez.
Oh, okay.
Blessed Augustin Pro.
Thank you.
But I liked what Faith had said, how or what she had done about the disguise. You know, that is sort of an activity that one could do on his feast day. You know, the children would love, if you have littles in your life, they would love to dress up. And you can tell them the story, of course, of why. Now, tomorrow is the feast of Andrew Dunlap and companions. They're Vietnamese martyrs. And normally I like to have Vietnamese food, that wonderful, delicious soup to celebrate. But of course, we're doing the turkey tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving. I want to say something about this. Recently, my husband got something in the mail that was saying, Thanksgiving, a day to tell people thank you for what they've done to you or how they've helped you. And really, no, that's not what Thanksgiving is for. Thanksgiving is for saying thank you to God for giving you those people or giving you all the blessings. You may think I'm splitting hairs here, but as we've seen, so many of our Catholic holidays, our Christian holidays have been hijacked. And this is a subtle way for the secular world to try and once again push God to the side. And so we want to be very vigilant about that. And so on Thanksgiving tomorrow, be sure that as you gather around your table, your family is giving gratitude for God or to God for all of his blessings. Now, the next day is the optional memorial of Catherine of Alexandria. And she was the saint who they attempted to martyr by putting her on a spiked wheel. That shattered. They tried a number of different tortures that didn't go right. God was giving them all the hints in the world. Don't do this. But they failed to listen, and they did indeed martyr her. But we can have the blessing of learning from her life. Now, normally I'll go to the store and get wagon wheel pasta and have a dish with wagon wheel pasta, but I couldn't find it this year. But there's these Mexican snacks, and I don't know what they're called. Here they're called Doritos, not Doritos, but Doritos. And I have a young friend who's Mexican, and he says he calls them Yatitos, which means small wagon wheels, but that's his own little nickname for them. But they're shaped in the form of a wagon wheel, and I'm gonna put them out as snacks for the celebration of St. Catherine of Alexandria's feast day. And then on Saturday is the New Year's Eve of our liturgical year. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, we often like to have New Year's resolutions. So this will be a good evening to do that. Maybe pull out the champagne, whatever you normally do to bring in the new year. And then on Sunday, it's the first Sunday of Advent. We're going to hear the Gospel of Matthew this year, and it's going to be prepare, be ready. You don't know when Jesus will come again. And of course, we're going to do everything purple. Purple, we're going to be seeing purple this next season because it's the color for prayer and penance, because we are in expectation. And then we end the month with the Feast of St. Andrew the Apostle. I've done shows on at least one show, maybe it was even last year, on St. Andrew, so I'm not going to talk about him again. You can go back to the archives, or you can go to the podcast that will be coming out, where you'll be able to hear a little bit more about the life of St. Andrew. But he's a patron saint of Scotland, so do something with the Scottish theme. He was crucified on a diagonal cross, an X-shaped cross. So foods were marked with X's. Fishermen, so fish. And then the Christmas anticipation prayer starts on the feast of St. Andrew, sometimes called the St. Andrew Novena, but it's a prayer to anticipate Christmas that is said 15 times a day. It starts, "All hail and blessed is the hour when the Son of God was born." And it's a very beautiful prayer, and it really helps to get us spiritually prepared for the celebration of Christmas.
So, as you mentioned, the first Sunday of Advent, and that is the official beginning of the liturgical year. We always like to define terms. So, what exactly is the liturgical year, and maybe how it differs from the Roman calendar?
The Gregorian calendar? You mean the Gregorian calendar?
Well, whatever we use, January, February, yeah.
So let's say the secular calendar.
There we go.
We talk about the liturgical year a lot, and I think sometimes we're not realizing just how fascinating it is. It's made up of 2 cycles. The first is the seasonal cycle, or the proper of time. And then the second is the sanctorial cycle, which is the proper of saints. Now, the whole purpose of the liturgical year is to bring us closer to Christ. And in the proper of time, the seasonal cycle, we are focusing on the life of Christ, the mystery of the life of Christ. And we are called then to imitate or conform ourselves to Christ. It's made up of 6 seasons. Of course, we know them as Advent, Christmas, Lent, the Paschal Triduum, Easter, and Ordinary Time. The sanctoral cycle is all of those feast days, the solemnities, the memorials, the feast days in the proper sense of the word, and optional memorials. These where we celebrate the lives of saints, again, because we've seen in their lives how they have answered the call to live the mystery of Christ, and so they provide for us a model as well as a source of intercession for us. Today's feast, St. Clement I, I want to quote from him because it's so apropos to what I'm talking about. He says, "Follow the saints, because those who follow them will become saints, and that we're all called to be saints."
Also, advice on how to begin to celebrate, to enrich your celebration of liturgical year. I mean, we've been doing this show for many, many years, and we've always encouraged people to kind of get that 3-ring binder, break it up into the different months, and then when you turn that page, it's like, okay, here's a new season, or maybe it's a new month. How do people start that? Because I think sometimes when we look at the 12-month period as a whole, it can sometimes be a bit overwhelming. So baby steps, how do we start to...
Advent is such a great place to start because there's so much resource for people.
Yes.
There are so many. My Advent box is overflowing with resources. So it's easy. A Catholic Book Club, we talked to Eric Sammons, and he has an Advent Jesse Tree book. So you don't have to make it up. A lot of the great resources exist.
And sometimes, as you're right, people feel overwhelmed. And, even it's amazing, Hope, what you just said was meant to encourage people. But sometimes people, you have a big box? Oh, I could never have a big box for Advent. And that sort of deflates them. And you're right. The liturgical year is worth celebrating. So we want to first find ourselves a guide. You mentioned that book, The Jesse Tree, but it can be simply as the liturgical calendar you pick up at church. So often of our parishes give those away free. That can be your starting point. This show, of course, is meant to do that. I've just highlighted the different saints and different ways we can celebrate their feast days, quick and easy. And again, I've made myself that binder, which has been such a wonderful resource for me. The second thing, and Brian, you said it, take baby steps. If you've never celebrated the liturgical year, or if you've done it sort of just a little bit, this is the time. It's the beginning. This is your New Year's resolution. Either pick one saint during the each month and say, I'm going to do something for that saint. Or maybe if you've already been doing something, add something or modify it, that what you've been doing, make it better. So for example, you can say, okay, a saint's coming up, the Feast of St. Lucy, I'm going to go to Mass. Or I'm going to say a novena in preparation, in anticipation of her feast. Or I'm going to add the collect to my daily prayers on her feast day. Maybe you're going to add a special activity. If you have little ones, chocolate eyeballs. We do not have little ones in our home anymore, but I'm going to serve chocolate eyeballs to my husband and I, who are empty nesters. You can make a meal. She was from Italy. Maybe you just serve some Italian food on that day, or a drink. Go to serve a special drink for her feast day. So there are so many different ways you can slowly and gradually work in, and then take notes. This year I did this. So next year when it comes around, for St. Lucy I did this, but I'm going to add this to it. Or I really liked this, or this one didn't work so much, I'm going to do something else. So the taking notes. Aristotle says, we are what we repeatedly do. So you want to repeatedly form a ritual, form traditions. If you have little ones that in your life, enculturate them in a lifestyle that lives and celebrates the feast days.
I love
Absolutely.
that. There's some great podcasts that are Saint of the Day that you could listen to with your kids, like on the way to school.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the thing. They take 2, 3, 5 minutes maybe.
Yeah. And learn about your saints.
Learn about your Saint of the Day. We have it spinning through on Salt and Light Catholic Radio, the Saint of the Day.
Yeah.
It leans a little Franciscan because it is Franciscan media. You'll learn every obscure Franciscan that you've ever known.
Yeah, and maybe some you didn't know. But all right, well, great stuff as always.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year, and we will be talking to you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, God bless. We'll take a 2-minute break. Be back with Man Cave as Morning Light continues next.
Daily Meditations of Pope Benedict XVI, presented by Leonardo Di Philippis of St. Luke Productions.
Judgment and hope. It is not simply, as one might expect, God, the infinite, the unknown, the eternal, who judges. On the contrary, it is not a stranger who judges us, but he whom we know in faith. The judge will not advance to meet us as the other, but as one of us who knows human existence from inside and has suffered. Thus over the judgment glows the dawn of hope. It is not only the day of wrath, but also the second coming of our Lord. One is reminded of the mighty vision of Christ with which the book of Revelation begins. The seer sinks down as though dead before this being full of sinister power. But the Lord lays his hand on him and says to him, as once in the days when they were crossing the lake of Gennesaret in wind and storm, "Fear not, it is I." The Lord of all power is the Jesus whose comrade the visionary had once been in faith. On that day of fear, the Christian will be allowed to see in happy wonder that he to whom all power is given in heaven and on earth was the companion in faith of his days on earth. And it is as if through the words of the Creed, Jesus were already laying his hands on him and saying, "Be without fear, it is I." Perhaps the problem of the intertwining of justice and mercy can be answered in no more beautiful way than that it is the idea that stands in the background of our creed.
This meditation is taken from Benedictus, published by Ignatius Press and Magnificat, and produced by St. Luke Productions. Learn more at stlukeproductions.com.
But Charlie Brown, it's Thanksgiving. What's that got to do with anything? Well, one of the greatest traditions we have is the Thanksgiving Day football game. And the biggest, most important tradition of all is the kicking off of the football.
Kick off your work boots and pull up a boulder. Morning Light now presents Man Cave, discussing the issues that affect Catholic men in today's culture. And now your favorite cavemen, Pat King and Eddie Trask.
25 minutes after the hour, Morning Light continues across the Salt and Light Catholic Radio Network. And as Teresa sort of alluded to during Faith and Feast, unfortunately, I think our secular society has reduced Thanksgiving to the Macy's parade, followed by 6 hours of bad football and overeating and a reason to take Alka-Seltzer.
From my day, it's always been the case.
Are they having the Macy's Day Parade?
I remember watching it as a kid.
Every Thanksgiving has been like that. When you grow up with a sports family, it's kind of, that's how things were.
Right.
Macy's,
I haven't watched a football game in... I don't even know if I have enough fingers.
Well,
it's been a really, really...
You went to Gonzaga, who's not exactly known for their
football
football
team's
team.
undefeated since 1946 when they dissolved the team.
Well, we heard this was a mediocre Wednesday, so it fits right in with our schedule.
Yeah. I've perked up since. I feel bad for forgetting my part. We've solved it. Trinity is going to hook me up with the part, so I have one here forever.
How do we as Catholic men, I guess, approach this holiday? What should we be doing tomorrow besides trying not to burn the house down?
Well, just don't turn the fryer. Have the fryer out away like near the street,
and don't put the turkey in frozen.
Yeah. You're not supposed to do that?
You're not supposed to do that. Thaw it for 3 days.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what. Here it comes.
Well, no,
nothing good ever happened after those words.
I did so our nights, Columbus have a night social, and we have a theme. We do a theme thing right now. It's a potluck, so everyone brings something. But everybody was bringing like salads and no meat, and so we thought, okay, let's kind of assign kind of categories so that we have so we did a Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, and
nice.
I
Charlie
did
Brown Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yep.
We did a deep fried turkey, right? And even as dry, I mean, it thawed, it was dry and all that. It
still
splat.
fizzles.
Oh, gosh. I mean, yeah. And here's the thing that I should have known, being a guy that's worked in the restaurant business, is that I'd looked at the level with water in the pot, and put the turkey in and put the water in. I got the level, so where to set the oil at, right? To drop. So when I pull the turkey out, then I set the level for the oil. The one thing I did forget was that oil, as it heats up, expands greatly. So I end up, fortunately, I didn't just drop the turkey, and I hung it from the hanger, and and it's going like, okay, that's a little fuller. And so I pulled the turkey back out and ladled out some of that hot grease before I let it go in, and I got it because I figured I could always add some into it. And it was perfect, and it turned out really good. Really, it's very tasty and very, very juicy. And so, but anyway, I was going to overboil, but I was far away. I've got 5 acres, so I had plenty of places to
Plenty of things to set on fire.
Besides your house.
Yeah, I mean, gravel road, oil slick, no problem. But, no, I'm just saying that. So just remember, if you're going to do a deep fried turkey, oil does, when it reaches temperature, does expand. And you really have to reach that oil to that above temperature before you bring the turkey in. And because once the turkey's in, you're taking a somewhat cold turkey and you're trying to bring it up to temperature. But what happens is that oil will still splatter and rapidly drop. But if you just drop it in, it really splatters, like doing French fries. That initial sizzle, and eventually it'll drop the temperature of the oil down, and it won't be so bad. But
to this day, that was one of the best birds I ever had, was a deep fried turkey.
And I didn't.
And that's Man Cave for the day.
Oh yeah, no, sorry.
Well,
to answer Brian's question, what you can do is deep fry a turkey. So, no.
Well, no, actually, I think what's important is, if you do football, then do it as a family. Go out and play a little bit.
Play football.
Go out and play in the front yard. Play a little football. Build up some some desire to eat more food or burn off some calories.
Yeah,
after you've
shoot
eaten.
hoops too. That's what I always recommend.
Do something with your family, but as long as you're doing everything you're doing that you enjoy doing, you're doing it with your family and including them. I think that is really the best way. I mean, because like one of my favorite things is clam dip. My mom used to make clam dip all the time, and it's like the tradition I carried on. And Chex Mix. These are things that Mom had us do together. We got to pour the nuts in, the Worcestershire, the butter, and do all that stuff and mix it. And we did that as a family because then it was like more fun to eat after because we
had a hand in it.
It wasn't just Mom slaving away at making the meal. Hey, come mash the potatoes. Why do we need so many? You see how big our family is? You know?
Yeah, I'd also say that whatever it is that men put their phones somewhere far away. Get rid
of them.
Put it in a different room. And if you're off of work, if you're fortunate enough to be off of work on that day, just be present. That's something that keeps coming up in conversation over the past few weeks for me and others. Like, just be present so you can talk about what you're thankful for. That's the other thing that came up. Don't just wait until Thanksgiving Day to say for like 10 seconds what you're thankful for. We're all working on this habit of when you wake up, what are you thankful for? Talk to God. What are you thankful for? And then with the children, what are you thankful for? And get into that habit. And so I think that Thanksgiving reminds us of that, but it's something that can be carried. It can be carried forward throughout the year. So we're not just saying, okay, it's Thanksgiving. Now I can think about what I'm thankful for.
And Thanksgiving is not just a thankful to God message either. It's a thankful for the country, the food on your table, the security you have.
Yeah.
It is time to reflect on where we're at and being grateful for, we may have cultural problems, but if you've ever been to other foreign countries and see they don't have a lot of country unity.
Yeah.
Okay. There's not a lot of country unity, and it's usually the government does this, and the people of the government of that country react this way. There's not a lot of things to celebrate, and at least in this country, we're one of the most desirable countries in the world to people that want to come to.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need to be thankful for that. And when we remind ourselves of the country that we live in and how grateful we are that we have the freedoms that we have, then we tend to consolidate our thinking to be in gratefulness and not just one of, well, they did this to me and they did that to me. I mean, my tax bill, my new property taxes came out. I wasn't very happy with how big it was.
No, it's a good exercise when we've even said this to the kids. What are 5 things that you're thankful for? And if someone's struggling, so be it.
Yeah.
But it's forcing you to think,
Right.
like, what is it that you have that you can be thankful for instead of keeping, this attitude that might lean towards negative.
Right.
And by the way, what kind of key does not open a door?
A turkey.
Okay.
Oh.
We're dads.
You were right there with me.
I
was going to say, I'm thankful for the freedom to make horrible jokes on air.
Well,
and what kind of sound does a limping turkey make?
Wednesday, so we can
What kind of a sound does a turkey make?
A limping
turkey?
Wobble, wobble.
What?
Is my punchline better than yours?
It is. Hobble, hobble. I was saying wobble, wobble, but we'll go with hobble.
Good stuff.
And
Good stuff.
There's a lot of events that you can participate in that, will, like, charitable events like the Turkey Trot. Boise has one now. Caldwell has one, and I'll be out there
trotting.
No,
Hobbling?
I would be a hobble, not a.
Here we come a hobbling.
and they would have to send out someone going like, okay, we're missing one person. Where's he at?
Yeah, where's King at?
Yeah.
Go back about 5 miles and find him.
I bring out my chair and I sit there and I go that way. I do the.
You're directing traffic.
I'm directing, yeah.
Yeah.
I just stand in the middle of the road and hope no one hits me, and I go that way. The finish line's over that way.
I love that kind of job.
Yeah,
I usually get a door opening, smile and point kind of job.
I get out my
I'm all
bag
about
of
it.
frosted donuts and my coffee and cocoa, and I sit there and I direct traffic. I'm preparing for the
That's a
game
rough-
day.
That is a rough go for sure.
Well,
We need a volunteer who's going to sit in the cold in a lawn chair with a
Well, I'm
box
the
of donuts and a
they actually don't
Love
ask for
it.
volunteers. They just say, Pat, you got
You're
the
gonna
end
do
of the
that.
run.
You
That's
got this
awesome.
down.
You got
Now,
this
something else that families do that you had mentioned about maybe volunteering. It's like, well, we're going to go serve at wherever. Soup kitchens.
So many people were at the fairgrounds distributing the Thanksgiving food boxes with the Society St. Vincent de Paul. And a lot of families come out. The kids have the day off. The families come out and they do it all together.
That's
It's
every year
awesome.
that they have
Every
that at
year.
the fairgrounds?
It's not enough to say thankful. It's more than it's not enough to say thankful. It's more participatory when you're actually showing your appreciation, because there are a lot of people, especially in this. I mean, we used to do St. Vincent de Paul, and our council used to do a huge Thanksgiving meal, and then COVID kind of and then it's kind of like hard to get everybody back into movement.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we haven't done that in a while, but it's amazing how many people have needs, and it's not so much that they're poor that they have needs, it's they have poor of community. I think we lose sight of the fact that there's a lot of people that, like myself, I live alone. Okay, now I've got a lot of activities that I'm going to do the turkey trot, and I'll go do things afterwards with other friends. But there's a lot of people that just don't have that. And at this time in their life, community is one of the bigger things that if you can engage them and help them or provide something that they can come to and share.
Yep.
Poor in spirit is that lacking of community. We think of poor, we think of financially poor. But I think more people are spiritually and community and family poor and lacking that relational part of community.
Yep.
That's why I like doing the breakfasts at our nights and our Lenten fish fries. It's not so much that we make a little bit of money out. It's that we are providing an opportunity for those that are poor in spirit to hang around other people that are poor in spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
So what are the plans for tomorrow?
The plans? Yeah.
Eat, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to
Eat
put
late.
my cream cheese out to make clam dip.
Oh no!
I don't know when everyone else is eating. We, historically have eaten like middle
all
of the day,
all
but
day?
it's gonna be a dinner tomorrow. It's gonna be like 6 o'clock. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We
Which
usually
might
have
not
first
work.
dinner about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
and then
how it has
second
to
dinner
go.
about 6:30.
Yep,
Wait a
and
minute. Like I said, I thought dinner was all day.
We have a bunch of families who don't have family in town,
Yeah.
and we all gather. We've been doing it for years for all the major holidays. I just chat, as you were saying,
Where
Pat.
do you do that at?
We do it in Caldwell.
No, I mean where?
Where?
Yeah.
Somebody's
Yeah.
house.
He
Yeah,
wants to
somebody's
know the
house.
address.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Pat's going to crash the
Hare
party.
Lane. No. Yeah.
He's poor in community.
No,
Well,
I
I talked to
I don't
someone
wanna
last
have to
night and
cook.
asked them, "What are you doing for Thanksgiving?" And when the response starts with, "Oh, you're like, "There's an invitation. There's an opportunity." So hopefully we'll have one more, and we all eat a little weird. We're the dairy-free, gluten-free people,
Yeah.
so it's nice that all of us eat weird together.
Yeah.
It's
I'm-
still delicious and fab, but
Yep.
everything's labeled and you know
I'm
what's
making
where.
a killer sweet potato mash tonight or tomorrow morning, and it will be dairy-free
Yum.
and gluten-free, of course. So
Yeah.
I'll have to bring some next week. See how that's doing.
Yum.
Yeah.
I'm sure it keeps
leftover.
well.
I'm joking.
Just
when
a
there's
little in a cup, stick it in the freezer for hope.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not making a bird this year, but the one thing I always miss is turkey sandwiches the day or two after.
Can't beat 'em.
Oh, pumpkin pie and scrambled eggs the next morning.
But cold
Is
pumpkin
that
pie.
order?
Don't heat it
Yes.
up.
Do you
Right.
do
Just
the
leave it out on
Yep.
Do you do the scrambled eggs on the pumpkin pie like whipped
Beside.
cream? Or
Beside.
the
Okay.
beside. It's the protein, so you don't
Just
get the
mix it in.
jitters 10 minutes later.
So I had
So
this
good.
19-pound turkey. How
You
long does
do.
it have to bake?
It's
15 minutes.
Whatever
Per
Google
pound,
says.
exactly.
15 minutes per pound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've made a turkey once in my life.
Okay,
And
so
that
I'm
was
asking the
delivering
wrong
to
person.
somebody who had a
Do
baby.
you have a meat
I have
thermometer?
no idea.
I do.
Okay. It all depends on elevation and stuff like that, but anywhere between 13 and 15 minutes a pound.
Okay.
It
yeah, you
depends
go
on-
outside and check the dew point. and
no.
Make sure where the moon phase is.
Elevation.
The alignment of Mars
Well,
to
it
Saturn.
depends also if it's a stuffed bird or not. If you stuff the...
I do not stuff the bird.
Okay, make sure
It's
you
just
pull out
wrong.
the giblets in that
Yes,
bag.
the plastic bag
Yep.
has to. No, this doesn't have a
reminded
plastic
us of
bag.
that.
And take that little plastic hook that keeps the bird legs together and all that, that little thing.
This one came fresh off the farm, so there was none of that in there.
You know what? It's still
perfect,
bouncing around.
Yeah.
I met the bird.
Yeah.
I met it.
Its name?
I can tell you one thing: he won't open any doors.
You
That's what
didn't
we do
pardon
now.
the bird?
I did not pardon it. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This went sideways real fast. We're going to take a 60-second break to compose ourselves and be back with news, traffic, and weather next.
Did you know that Catholic radio has saved lives, marriages, and brought people back to the faith in this community? Yet still many have never heard of Salt and Light Radio. We are looking to grow our Parish Ambassador program. A Parish Ambassador spreads the word about Catholic radio in either your parish or out in the community. It requires minimal time, but the rewards can be eternal. For more information, please call Carol at 208-658-4491 or email carol@saltandlightradio.com.
Support for Salt and Light Radio comes from Beacon of Light member Dr. Gregory Kent at the Eye Associates. Whatever your age and whatever your eye health needs, Dr. Kent and his staff at the Eye Associates give patients expert, compassionate care. From surgical vision correction to routine eye care, they offer a variety of services from two convenient locations, 2620 South Eagle Road in Meridian and 1602 Arlington Avenue in Caldwell. The phone number is 208-514-3144 and the website boiselasik.com.
20 minutes away from the top of the hour. Time for Morning Light News. 29 degrees in Boise, 30 in Twin Falls, 32 in Grangeville. A Napa School District employee has been placed on administrative leave after he was charged with 2 felonies. Jefferson Davis, a math and special education teacher at West Middle School in Nampa, was arrested on November 16th. The victim, who is over the age of 18, was, quote, unconscious or asleep, end quote, at the time of the incident. According to district officials, Davis was not arrested on school property and has not been in a classroom since October 21st.
Boise police shot a Garden City man, Jeremy Waste, on Monday. Waste, age 30, was wanted on a warrant for aggravated battery. Boise police attempted to take Waste into custody when he pulled a weapon and attempted to injure a law enforcement officer. A second officer shot him. He was booked into the Ada County Jail. Neither officer was injured. The incident is being investigated by the Ada County Critical Incident Task Force, which is led by Meridian Police.
Despite the cold temperatures, don't put away those golf clubs just yet. The highly anticipated opening of Top Golf in Meridian is planned for Monday the 28th, located just off I-84 at Eagle View Landing.
If you haven't seen it,
yes.
you're not paying attention.
Exactly. It's right there
Yeah,
on
it's one of those
I-84.
where you're like, what is that?
It's Top Golf.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new golf entertainment venue. It's technology-driven. Words are hard. It's quite the experience. It offers a driving range, outdoor hitting bays, a restaurant, bar, social event spaces, a whole lot more. If you want to learn all about it, or if you want to start taking a time to play, make your appointment, topgolf.com.
Well, if you haven't taken out the Thanksgiving turkey, you may need to consider roast beef this year. But here are some Thanksgiving stats. Typically, around 216,000 birds are produced each year, with the number dropping annually by tens of thousands. I looked at a handy-dandy little chart, and turkey sales and turkey production is plummeting. So decide how much you love your turkey. The average cost of a 10-person feast is $65. The typical number of Black Friday shoppers in the U.S. is 114.9 million, and over half of U.S. consumers begin Christmas shopping before Thanksgiving. That would be me. The busiest airport during the Thanksgiving travel season? Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. And all of that random data was from Statista.com. Traffic and weather are next.
Salt and Light Radio thanks Beacon of Light member Capital City Heating and Cooling for their support. With over 50 years of combined experience, they're dedicated to providing efficient solutions for your family's home comfort. Clients are treated with integrity, and it shows from the high ratings and recommendations on Google and Yelp for customer satisfaction. Located at 420 North Curtis Road in Boise, the phone number for Capital City Heating and Cooling is 208-345-4115, and the website capitalcityheating.com.
Good morning light traffic. So freeway commute is fantastico. You're going to get wherever you are heading without a problem. Even the slow places are pretty speedy for a typical Wednesday. There's a utility works sprinkled all throughout the city. Also, the school zones are still in effect. So keep that in mind as you are making your way. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving commute if you are leaving today to travel somewhere. Please travel very safely. That's your morning light traffic.
Mostly cloudy in the Treasure Valley through Sunday. Highs low 40s, lows upper 20s. Magic Valley expects mostly sunny skies through the holiday weekend. Highs 40 to 45 and lows 20 to 25 degrees. Camas Prairie, partly cloudy today and tomorrow, then showers over the weekend. Highs in the upper 30s with lows in the upper 20s. 24 right now in Caldwell. Rupert reporting 28 degrees, and it's 26 in Nampa. Let's learn more about our Saint of the Day. When we return, we're going to talk with the Knights of Columbus about Coats for Kids.
This is Franciscan Media's Saint of the Day for November 23rd. Today we celebrate Blessed Miguel Agustin Pro. Those who outlawed the Catholic Church in Mexico did not count on the deeply rooted faith of its people and the willingness of many of them, like the man we remember today, to die as martyrs. Born into a prosperous, devout Mexican family in 1891, as a child Miguel was known for his sweet disposition. 3 years after entering the Society of Jesus, religious persecution forced him to leave Mexico and continue his studies in Spain. Immediately following his ordination in 1925, Father Pro returned to Mexico, where anti-clericalism was still in place. Forced to go underground, he celebrated Mass in secret, administering the sacraments to small groups of Catholics. Along with his brother Roberto, Father Pro was arrested in November 1927 on trumped-up charges of attempting to assassinate Mexico's president. Roberto was spared, but Miguel was sentenced to face a firing squad, awaiting his fate in front of a large crowd of onlookers. Viva Cristo Rey, or Long Live Christ the King, were the last words uttered by Miguel Pro before he was executed. Pope John Paul II beatified him in 1988. There's more about the saints along with inspiration and Catholic resources at our website, saintoftheday.org. From Franciscan Media, this has been Saint of the Day.
What kind of a Thanksgiving dinner is this? Where's the turkey, Chuck? Don't you know anything about Thanksgiving dinners? Where's the mashed potatoes? Where's the cranberry sauce? Where's the pumpkin pie?
14 minutes away from the top of the hour. Wishing you a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Absolutely.
With toast and pretzels and popcorn and jelly beans. Yum.
I love it. My kids would be all about that. I like salad.
We're wrapping up this wonderful Wednesday edition of Morning Light with the Knights of Columbus. Coats for Kids happening this weekend. And on the phone we have Carl Corbin from the Twin Falls Council. Good morning, Carl.
Morning.
Well, first off, share this Coats for Kids campaign with our audience today. Tell us about, I think the event takes place Friday. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're planning on having a coat distribution at La Posada in Twin Falls here, and from like 10 in the morning to about 2 in the afternoon. Then we'll be giving away coats, and it kind of works with them because La Posada serves the Hispanic community, the migrant community, and all the other ethnic groups as well. So she has a full program that she does all year long, and it's run by Sister Rosemary. So, and we're going to have nights there, and we're going to have, I don't know how many coats. We got 16 cases of 12 to like a dozen coats to case, and plus we take and collect slightly used coats, and so we got a bunch of them to give away, as well as some new ones that people have donated to our program.
What is the history, Carl, with Coats for Kids and the Knights of Columbus?
And that's a program that's been going on for many years. I know we in Twin Falls here have been associated with at least 10 to 15 years. And every year we take in and collect coats and get and make sure they get to proper homes. This year we've taken and also included the religious ed of St. Ed's. You have parents or kids that do not have coats, suitable coats, and so we're giving some to them as well. And so, and we've been very successful in doing that, and so we've been doing it for a number of years. And last year was a little bit different. We bought 4 cases of coats, and the Supreme Knights of Columbus at Supreme New Haven matched it, so we ended up getting 8 cases of, well, we only got 7, but we got shortchanged the case. But beside the point, we had one young man who's the son of one of our knights. He was a senior in high school at Xavier Charter School here in Twin Falls, and he took on Coats for Kids as his senior project. And his dad worked for J.D. Haskell, and they have several outlets, and so he put receptacles in those and collected coats. Plus, we gave over 200 coats away last year.
Wow. If you're just joining us here on Morning Lights, we are wrapping up this wonderful Wednesday edition of the show with Carl Corbin from the Knights of Columbus Twin Falls Council, and Friday is the Coats for Kids distribution. It's going to be taking place in Twin Falls at La Posada, and it gets underway about 10 a.m. Did Coats for Kids, is this something that approached the Knights? Did the Knights just decide to take this on because of a need in the community? I know that the Knights are always kind of that right arm of the pastor in their respective parishes, but this sounds like something that is outside the walls of the parish, maybe a particular need that needed to be addressed in the community of Twin Falls.
The Knights of Columbus has many different programs, and we not only serve, the parish and doing pancake breakfasts and to donate to the school, Catholic school, as well as the different organizations of the church. We also do a free-throw contest, which we encourage all the young people to come and shoot baskets, and so the winners of that gets moved on. We do Food for Families, another community outreach. So the Knights just not only do the things for the church and for the pastor, but it also helps the community in many different ways. I get involved with, I belong to the council here in Twin Falls, but I'm also the district deputy for four different councils, and we're talking about Gooding, and we're talking about Jerome, Twin, and Buell. I have 4 councils that I work with and kind of give them tips and try to get them more involved in community as well as the church.
Amen.
Is there any particular way that Magic Valley listeners to the radio here this morning could support the Coats for Kids project that's on Friday?
We'd like to encourage anyone that needs a coat to come out, especially the kids, and come out and you'll receive a coat, and there's no cost whatsoever. And I've been involved with it for quite a while. About 5 years ago, I was with a coat distribution in Jerome. We did it at the bank, the credit union there in Jerome. So we've been involved with it for like I said, a number of years. and this is one of our prime programs that we do every year.
Excellent. Do you guys have any space for storage? Like you had mentioned, you know, if it's a gently used coat, because let's face it, Hope and I are parents. We buy these coats, they wear them for one season, and they've been outgrown, and they're still in perfectly good shape. So is there a place that we can take that, let's say March or April, when we're spring cleaning and we know that this coat isn't going to last another year? Is there some place we can take it so that you guys have it for later, you know, for the Coats for Kids project?
Yeah, you can always, they can always drop the Coats for Kids at the St. Edward's Parish office.
Okay.
And we can collect it from there, and then we have receptacles and stuff that we can, boxes that we can box them up and wait for when we do it in the fall.
Excellent.
Nice, because we just as soon store it in your closet than our own. Carl, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your history with the Knights? How long have you been a Knight, and what are some of the more interesting or wonderful things you've done?
Well, I joined, first of all, I'm a convert, okay? Mm-hmm. And I, in 1989, 1996, I was a convert in the East Coast at in Newport News, Virginia. At the time, I was working out there. And so the Easter Vigil was very long because we had 134 people in my class at the Our Lady Mount Carmel in Newport News.
Wow,
so our
that's
Easter
amazing.
Vigil was pretty long.
Yeah. Wow.
And so the very night that I took in was confirmed, I was handed a Form 100. So I joined the Knights right after that, and I've been involved with them ever since. I've been involved with them like 26, 27 years.
And it's great that most of Catholic parishes do have a Knights of Columbus Council. So as you've moved about the country and now that you're there in Twin Falls, that membership follows you. There's just, you know, something really quick and easy that you need to fill out, and now you're a member of that council or this council or whatever the case may be.
This council has been established over 100 years.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of history.
Beautiful.
Yeah, 100 plus years. And we've been very successful. Our programs are very, we have so many different programs that we do. We're teaming up with you guys again for the Idaho Men's Conference as a satellite to receive. And so this will be our third year that we've done this with you guys. And so it's very moving, and we really provide a great program for it.
That's excellent. I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's an opportunity to remind people that early bird registration is open for the Idaho Catholic Men's Conference, and we encourage you to get registered. Even if you are participating virtually, it's important that individuals register and pay, because it comes with stuff.
Yes.
And you need to be registered in order to do that. Also helps us get a good head count, or if we need to get a bus out of Twin Falls, then those kinds of things can get organized in the meantime.
Absolutely.
IdahoCatholicMen.com.
Yeah, we decided to do this because there's so many people that can't drive that far to Boise or don't wish to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready and get to Boise by 8 o'clock.
I get it.
Starting of the men's conference. So we started this like 3 years ago, and then last year we really got teamed up with you guys, and we provided a continental breakfast, we got a luncheon, and then we had one of our priests came and did confessions.
Nice.
Beautiful.
And then we were going to watch Bishop Peter Mass.
Mm-hmm.
But then one of our priests came and did a Mass for everybody in person that was there.
That's great.
I love it.
Yeah, we've always enjoyed our partnership with the Knights of Columbus. So thank you so much for all that you do. Best of luck on Friday's event, and thanks for getting up early and joining us here on Morning Light, Carl.
Thanks, Carl.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
God bless.
God bless you all.
Thank you. Bye, Carl.
That concludes Wonderful Wednesday. Later today, you can go to saltandlightradio.com, click the Morning Light page, and hit podcast if you missed any of today's segments or previous programs.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Watch the show live on YouTube if you want to see my awesome disguises from today. Thank you to our guests today, Teresa Zapeta, Pat King, Eddie Trask, and Carl Corbin, who reminds you to sign up for the Idaho Catholic Men's Conference.
Tomorrow and Friday, we will be with family and friends during our Thanksgiving holiday, so we've prepared a couple of Best of Morning Light specials just for you to enjoy.
So then join us November 28th for our next Marvelous Monday edition of Morning Light, 7 a.m. Mountain, 6 a.m. Pacific, St. Maximilian Kolbe.
Pray for us. Blessed Miguel Augustin Pro.
Pray for us. St. Gabriel the Archangel.
Pray for us. Viva Cristo Rey.
Long live Christ the King. Happy Thanksgiving.